Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good midnight. So, those who are watching it at respective times, no, you take my wishes, huh? So, uh, my name is Nagendra Bhaktha. I am a chartered accountant, practicing chartered accountant, and my place is Someshwara, which is near to Hebri, Udupi district, Karnataka. Okay. Uh, all these CA students, especially Inter students, welcome to my classes. I'll be taking you through GST, Goods and Service Tax, which is part B in taxation. Taxation mein part B. Hope other subjects, you are studying other subjects well. I believe that all other subjects which you are going through and which you are studying, that all the subjects are that you are studying, no, that is going good. I believe that. And as a chartered accountant, being a chartered accountant, what I can tell you is CA is a challenging one. You know this, chartered accountancy is not an easy task, easy job it is. To clear that is not an easy task. But I am sure that you all are determined enough, or your dedication that you have is enough to clear this, and your enthusiasm also. I can sense that enthusiasm from this side. I believe that you know what is the importance of this two letters CA that you can see there. Correct. Now the two letters which you have, which you will be using as a prefix, no, that gives the immense, or that the immense pleasure. At the same time, it gives that kind of respect which you can never ever imagine. Okay. So there are professions in India. There are many professions in India, and the CA is one amongst those professions which is giving you such a beautiful two letters, and people value your words to that extent. Chalo. Being said that, directly I go to the syllabus which we have in GST. Obviously, sir, where to find the material, GST material, and you know that there is something called as ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, where in Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, you can directly go to the Students tab. In Students tab, icai.org, there in Students tab, you can see BOS Knowledge Portal here, BOS Knowledge Portal. Click on that. Once you click on that, click here to visit BOS Knowledge Portal, specifically meant for students. And our beloved President G, CA Aniket sir, and all these the dignitaries, you can see them, just know about them, these legendary personalities. And here when you scroll down, no, you can see this section, see Chartered Accountancy course. Uske baad you have study material, new scheme. Click on this new scheme. You are under new scheme. Obviously here onwards you cannot write old scheme ka exams got over. Now in intermediate, I believe that you are in intermediate level. Olagu alla, horagu alla, not this side, not that side. Hiranyakashipu, correct? No, intermediate. So in intermediate, obviously I know that you have selected English medium. Do select English medium, and in that what we are discussing, there are many subjects here, 6 subjects that you have. In that, what we will be discussing for next 60-70 hours is about GST. Sir, 70 hours, sir? Yes, 70 hours, not less than 70 hours. We have to discuss about some of the questions, question and answers, and this concepts also. In detail we will be discussing about the concepts. So that here paper 3, goods and service tax B, please see that it is B, section B, that is goods and service tax. If you click on this, now it will be directed to, there are 2 modules. If you have already registered for your examination and you have got these modules, so the 2 modules will be dedicated for your examination, that especially for GST. If I click on module 1, so what are the things there in module 1? Initial pages, GST, supply, charge, supply of a value, a place of supply, exemption, time of supply, value of supply. See, earlier earlier there were less number of chapters. This time they have added some new topics to you. Why? Because they have taken out some subject, one subject only they have taken out, 2 subjects. That's why some topics are added to you. In that, one is this place of supply. This was there in CA Finals. This time they have added this in CA Inter, place of supply. And charge and all these sections were there, but extra added to these chapters. Now it is not like old chapters. You have to give more importance to the subject. And earlier it was 40 marks. GST was for 40 marks. This time it is for 50 marks. GST is for 50 marks. 50 marks के लिए आएगा 50 marks. And you know one good news. Now you might be knowing about this. Whatever do you study here, no, same thing will be there for your CA Finals too. Same thing, but extra added. So there you will be studying about the GST में some advanced things, rules, regulations, plus customs will also be there in your CA Finals, and the raid ka case, and what is assessment, what are the forms which are available to you, and some extra topics will be added there. Okay, so compared to the previous syllabus, in this syllabus, place of supply is one amongst those which have been added. And if I go back, module 2 mein, see, input tax credit, registration, tax invoice was there. One more new one is accounts and records. Accounts and records, e-way bill was not a separate chapter. Earlier it was a concept. Now this time they made it chapter. Payment of tax was there earlier. TDS and TCS is one more chapter which has been added to you. In your syllabus they have added it. TDS and TCS, sir, tax deducted at source was there in income tax, sir. अरे income tax is different. वो अलग, वो बात तो अलग है, ये बात भी अलग है. Don't worry, it is not complicated like your income tax section number 194, 192, 195. No. Not that kind. There are many clauses there. There were many clauses, but here there are no such clauses. Very small chapter it is, and easy to understand, easy to remember. Don't worry, you have to pay attention. 100% you should be in the class. If you have played a video, 100% you should be in the class. Okay, so this is one more chapter which is added somewhere. 3 chapters has been added to you extra, and there are some topics which have been introduced in chapters. Those which were earlier, no, to that some of the topics, extra topics has been introduced. So basically, if someone asks you that, old students, if they ask you what has been added in your material, you just tell them only 3 chapters has been added. One is place of supply, accounts and records, and TDS and TCS. So these are the 3 chapters which has been added to you. Chalo, now we will see what are some of the important points we need to discuss in this syllabus. What is there in detail about the syllabus? See, initial pages. If you go to initial pages, no, wait, here, if you go to initial pages, you can see this now. So what I have done, I have downloaded this. This is the initial pages which will tell you what is actually there in your syllabus. Okay, here, initial pages mein. So intermediate study material, and thanks to ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, for considering GST as a subject so that we can study the subject at the early life. Correct? Now you study GST now, but in my case I have studied GST when I came to CA Finals. CA Finals mein I studied it in 2020. GST came in 2017, but I could study that in 2020. But in Inter, I had no GST. I had VAT and excise tax and the service tax that was there right now. So thanks to ICAI for giving this beautiful material and beautiful knowledge. Okay, now directly going to the syllabus. Income tax laws. No, we are not discussing income tax laws. Section B. So the Goods and Service Tax Act for 50 marks. Goods and Service Tax for 50 marks. What are the objectives, sir? To develop an understanding of the provisions of Goods and Service Tax law and to acquire the ability to apply such provisions. What is the main objective? Chartered accountants, this material objective is to develop an understanding of the provision. What are the provisions which are there in GST, to develop that understanding and to acquire the ability to apply that. So don't worry, I'll make you apply that. Okay, and you just have to be there with me. Please be there with me so that you can apply the knowledge which you have got. Definitely, that assurance I can give it to you. Next one, what are the contents? GST law, levy and collection of CGST and IGST. So the application of law and concept of supply and charge of tax, exemption from taxation, composition levy, like this. There are many, and basic concepts are also there. Classification, place of supply, time of supply, value of supply, input tax credit, like this. Computation of GST liability. Finally, you will calculate what is the liability, and to collect you have to get the registration, and after getting the registration you have to start giving invoice. Invoice ka provisions will also be there. Accounts and records. So how to maintain the accounts and how to maintain the records, that will be there. And returns, payment of taxes. So returns, once you once you start charging to the people, you will collect GST from them and you have to pay it to the government. How you pay, sir? By maintaining the returns. Returns means not income tax returns, this is GST returns. You have to file GST returns. Okay, so if any new legislation, all these things are there, then we will discuss that in amendments. Okay, amendments made in the provisions. So that statutory update will be given to you, and this syllabus, there are some points which are there and that has been amended, that has been changed, that has got changed. Later it got changed, but I tell you, remember people, first you have to understand what was there. Only then you can understand what got changed. If I directly tell you, this is changed one, then you should be knowing what was there. No, that's why we read history. So what we'll be doing for next 50-55 hours is that we will be studying history. We will study what has happened and what is there, and later we will see for next after 55 hours or 60 hours, for next 4-5 hours we will be studying the amendments, what got amended for your examination. Just 4 hours, somewhere one point may there is change. For example, think that as per some rule, as per or as per section, e-invoicing was required for those whose turnover were greater than 10 crore, greater than or equal to 10 crore, then e-invoicing was mandatory. This time it got amended, it's not 10 crore, it is 5 crores. This is amendment. This 5 crore, see, all the sections, provisions are same. Amendment means only the change here, 5 crore. Instead of 10 crore, it is 5 crores. Instead of 10 crore, it will become 5 crore. That is the amendment. So that will be studying in amendments here. So now we will go for the contents of your syllabus, what will be there in your syllabus, and we will discuss about what might be the weightage. What will be the weightage of that chapter? See, definitely I cannot tell you this is the weightage. ICAI has to give you the weightage, but I did not find anywhere what is their weightage, what weightage they are giving. But in my case, I say that in all the chapters, weightage is same. Weightage is same. There are 15 chapters that we have to study. For all the 15 chapters, 100 marks divided by 50 marks divided by 15 chapters. 3 marks per chapter. Okay, 3 to 4 marks per chapter. But even then, my gut feeling says that there is this one, this first chapter mein, don't worry, first chapter we will study, but it will not be there for your examination. In the sense, it is there in the examination. It is a summary. It is the summary of all the GST which was there. GST ka whole syllabus ka summary it is. What was the history, who started it, and what is GST, how it works, what introductory part, everything is given in first chapter, chapter 1, GST in India. So later, chapter 2, very important one is chapter 2 onwards. Chapter 2 onwards, very, very, very important chapter is chapter 2. Supply under GST. Goods and service taxes. If you don't know what is supply, then you don't know what is GST. If you don't know what is supply, then you definitely don't know what is GST. So we have to study about GST, especially supply. So this chapter, I believe that at least 6 marks के लिए 6 marks. Last time they have asked 6 marks from this chapter. The last attempt, no, they have asked 6 marks का question from this 6 or not 4 marks, 4 to 6 marks from this chapter, definitely from this chapter. And later chapter 3 charge में again 4 marks, 4 to 6 marks from charge chapter. See, you will not get one comprehensive question from one chapter. No, they will mix 4-5 chapters and they will make one question. That purpose, in last exam, no, there was one question from GST computation chapter. Computation chapter say one question has come. In that 2-3 points were from this chapter, charge chapter. 2-3 questions, some small points from this chapter. What has to be charged, reverse charge or forward charge mechanism? So these kind of questions. So they definitely ask these questions. So you don't have to, you should not miss this chapter. Easy chapter. See, all the chapters are easy one. All the chapters are easy one. You know this if you have already studied. Okay. So we will discuss about this charge of GST ka chapter. Uske baad place of supply. This time it has been added. I don't think much question will be there. Somewhere 2 marks ka questions, 2 marks from this chapter, but easy one, don't worry, it is easy one. Definitely question will be there. Why? Because first time it has been added, definitely one question will be there, at least for 2 to 3 marks. Okay, next one, exemption chapter, again 4 marks from exemption. The biggest chapter in your GST, the biggest chapter is exemption chapter. At least 4 marks from this exemption chapter. We will discuss in detail. Don't worry, we will discuss all these things in detail. Okay, next one is time of supply. 2 marks के लिए from this chapter, might be 2 to 3 marks. Time of supply. That means when we have to charge GST. See, we are collecting GST. When we have to pay it to the government. What is the last day to pay it to the government? Or when we have to pay it to the government. This is time of supply. Time of supply. Next one, value of supply. Again, this will be for 4 to 4 marks. Somewhere 4 marks. This is the inclusive question. That means other chapters will be included in this value of supply. So somewhere 4 marks ka question that might appear from this. What is value of supply, sir? If you ask me, nothing. People, value of supply means the supply. So then some value will be there. On that you have to charge GST. Value is, example, 100 rupees. Value is 100 rupees. GST is 10%. 10% is of 100 rupees. 10% is of 100 rupees. That is the value now. So value of supply. If I am selling this remote, 200 rupees is the value. Value of supply is 200. On this 200 there will be GST. This is value of supply. So this is the importance of, see, if it is left to the taxpayer, I will show less value. I will show only 50 rupees. Out of 100 rupees, I will show only 50 rupees. Government says, no. I will tell you what is the value. You have to mention that value in the invoice. So that is given by government. So this we will study in section number 15. That is value of supply. Again, it is for 4 marks. Next. Module 2 में initial pages. What will be there in module 2? Initial pages में, listen. So chapter 8, input tax credit. So ITC, what is ITC? Some of you know what is ITC, but let me explain you. ITC is nothing but, see, right now I am just giving you the introduction. What is ITC? In detail we will study now. After somewhere 2-3 minutes, after that we will study about input tax credit in detail. Input tax credit means, see, I have purchased some goods on which I paid GST for selling purpose. I purchased the goods for selling purpose, for which on purchase of these goods I paid some GST. I paid some GST on purchase of these goods. Okay, sir, you paid GST. While selling, I will collect the GST. I already paid GST. I will collect the GST. See, I paid 100 rupees as the GST, I collected 120 as the GST. So don't you think I have already paid 100 rupees as GST? See, already I have paid 100 rupees as the GST and I have collected 120 as the GST. So 100 which I paid, I will keep it in my pocket. And other extra 20 I have collected, no, I will pay it to the government. First 100, I paid it to my supplier. From whom I purchased the goods, I will pay that 100 to my supplier. My supplier will pay this 100 rupees to the government on my behalf. I sold these goods and I did collect 120 rupees. So I already paid 100, no? In that 100, I will keep it in my pocket. Extra 20 which I have collected, I will pay to the government. Government got 100 from my side, 20 rupees from my side again. This 120 rupees, 100 rupees I paid, that government took it. 20 rupees I did collect extra and I paid it to the government. Got 120 rupees. Government got 120 rupees. Both are paid by me. 100 rupees I paid it to my supplier. Supplier paid 100 rupees to the government. 20 rupees I paid from my pocket. 120 rupees I paid. Who paid this 120 rupees to me? My recipient. The buyer paid 120 rupees. So I have no profit, no loss. For the purpose of tax, no, I have no profit, no loss. Correct? No. I paid 120, I got 120. 0. GST, do I have any GST? Do I have any amount which I have collected as GST in my pocket? No. See, now what is ITC? Now let me come to the point ITC, exactly to the point ITC. I collected 120, but while purchasing I paid 100. I already paid 100, no? I will deduct that from 120 rupees. See, I collected 120 from my customer. From my customer, I collected 120. Correct? No, here listen to me carefully. So this is me. I am the buyer 1. And this is one more guy who is buyer. And this is supplier. Okay. We will do one thing. I'll change it. Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C. Mr. A purchased the goods for 1000 rupees plus 100 rupees he paid GST. 1100 paid by this guy to the supplier. Correct? No? Now this is the value of supply. This is GST which is paid by B. Correct? No? Goods goes this side and payment is going this side. Now GST, no, this is the tax which is collected from the buyer. Supplier will collect this amount from the buyer. Now, what the supplier has to do with this 100 rupees? This is tax. He cannot keep in his pocket. He has to pay to the government. He will pay to the government. Now, government in its pocket, how much money government has? 100 rupees, sir. 100 rupees. Why? Because this guy, no, he paid 100 rupees. A, no, he paid 100 rupees. Okay. Now B, he will further supply this goods, sell these goods to the C, Mr. C. B will sell goods to Mr. C and he will collect 1200 plus 120 as the GST. Totally 1320. He paid. Now he will give this to the supplier. He will become supplier now. Supplier. Now on this goods, don't you think this B, person B already paid 100 rupees? Already he paid 100 rupees, no? See, this is GST which he has collected. Actually tax you cannot keep in your pocket. B, Mr. B, he cannot keep tax amount in his pocket. He has to pay that 120 to the government. But he says that, government, don't you think on the same goods I already paid you 100 rupees. That 100 rupees I will keep, man. That 100 rupees is my 100 rupees. Can I keep that? Correct? No. So I wish to keep that amount. So in this case, sir, I have already paid 100 rupees. No. I want 100 rupees. That 100 rupees I will keep it in my pocket. Now government said, okay, keep that 100 rupees. So you did collect 120. What B has to do now? B, you did collect 120. In that, keep that 100 rupees minus Deduct that 100 rupees, you have to pay 20 rupees to the government. Customer paid how much? 120. Customer paid 120 and you already paid 100 rupees to me. Customer paid you 120, you already paid 100 rupees via the supplier. Other 20 rupees you have to pay it to me now. So this is paid by cash. This 100 rupees which we have deducted, no, it is called as input tax credit. This is ITC. Getting this? So about ITC we will be studying in this unit, chapter number 8. We will be discussing about input tax credit, which has highest importance in your GST syllabus. GST में the highest importance is given for input tax credit. Input tax credit. Okay. So this is input tax credit. Highest importance is given for input tax credit. Later, chapter 9 registration. Chapter 9 is of registration. So government says that to collect GST, you should be a registered person. Then who has to take the registration? A person has to take the registration. The one who is collecting GST, no, that person has to take the registration. So this we will study in this chapter. This has the importance for somewhere 4 marks. 4 marks ka importance is there. Next one, 10th chapter, that is tax invoice. Usually separate question will not come from tax invoice. Separate question, you don't expect some separate question from tax invoice, but it will be included in some or the other chapter. So somewhere 2 marks. We can give example, the weightage of 2 marks here, but people, one chapter is linked to another chapter. I cannot say that this is of 2 marks, this is of 4 marks. I can just wild guess. I can give a wild guess here. Okay. Somewhere 4 marks, 2 to 4 marks ka questions might appear from this chapter. And accounts and records, this has been added for the first time. Somewhere 2 marks to 3 marks ka importance can be given for this accounts and records. So that means till when we have to maintain the accounts and records of this purchase, sale, invoice, all these things. Okay. Next one, chapter number 13, payment of tax. Chapter 13 is about payment of tax. So that means I have collected the GST. Now I have to pay it to the government. How to pay it to the government? What happens if I don't pay? What happens if I don't pay it to the government? So in that case, there are some rules. There are some rules and regulations which are discussed about the payment of taxes. When you can pay, when you have to pay, what are the rules and regulations to pay for it. So these are payment of taxes. Okay, chapter 13 it is. Chapter 14, last but one, TDS and TCS, tax deducted at source and tax collected at source. TDS and TCS, that we will be discussing. Next, e-way bill. E-way bill is done. Returns chapter, where is e-way bill? 13th chapter is e-way bill, payment of tax. E-way bill is 12th chapter. What is e-way bill? Electronic way bill. While transporting goods from one place to another place, you have to take e-way bill. It's a document that you are the owner. At the same time, you are doing a legal transportation of the goods from one place to another place. For transportation purpose, you have to take one bill. This is called as e-way bill, electronic way bill. And the last chapter is returns chapter. Returns, that means once you know that you have to pay, you have collected it. How to pay, sir? File your return and pay it. Filing the return and paying it. So all these things that we'll be discussing in last chapter, chapter 15, which is returns chapter. So these are the chapters which are there in your syllabus. But I tell you, the order of these chapters, no, the order which is given to you, I don't like the order. The order which is given by ICAI, no, ICAI, I know that ICAI is kind of God to all of us, correct? No, it's a temple, like a temple to all of us. But the way they have arranged the chapter, no, so I am not going as per this arrangement. If I go as per this arrangement, it will be a jumbled one. For that purpose, what I will be doing, I'll start with chapter supply. So once chapter supply is done, next I will go for registration. After registration chapter, composition. After composition chapter, I will go for the charge section, charge of GST. Listen, I'll do one thing, I'll write it here. The way I go, the way you find the videos, are in this order. Okay, first that video that you get is supply, chapter supply. Second video that you get is registration chapter, का video. And the third video that you get is that is of composition. Actually, composition is not a separate chapter, it is there in charge of GST. Composition is included in charge of GST, but I wish to keep it separate. And what is there in charge? Fourth video, sir, that will be the fourth topic that we'll be discussing is charging section, not charger, charging section, charge, basically charging section, which is charge. Fifth chapter, so the next topic that we'll be discussing is the tax invoice, debit note and credit note, so that we will be discussing. After that, sixth one, that is time of supply. After that, we will be discussing about value of supply. उसके बाद 8th में we will be discussing about input tax credit, that chapter, input tax credit. उसके बाद we will be discussing about accounts and records. Later we will discuss about e-way bill. Next we will discuss about payments chapter, and 12th one will discuss about TDS and TCS. 13th topic is about place of supply. 14th, that is returns chapter. 15th, exemption chapter. And 16th is about which is pending now, GST in India, charge हुआ, place हुआ, exemption, time, value, supply, registration. अरे everything हुआ ना? ITC registration is done. Have we written registration? Oh, registration is pending. No, it's done. No, registration is done. That is, there should be one more. No? Yes, that is introduction. Everything is done. Intro. So that means we are studying introduction at the end, sir. Yes. Because what is this? Introduction we are studying at the end. Why we are studying introduction at the end, sir? Because it is the summary of all the chapters. If I start it in the beginning, no, first day, if I do the introduction, definitely it is going to be a overheads. costing ka overheads will start now. For that purpose, first we will be discussing about all these chapters. Lastly, we will go for introduction chapter, and in introduction chapter I am not doing it as per your study material. Till 15th chapter I will be using your study material. For 16th chapter I will not use your study material. So mostly it is your homework. Introduction will be your homework, but don't worry, we will discuss, don't worry. So this is how it goes. Chalo bachcho, this is how it goes. Or sometimes here and there might be some mixtures and jumbles. Or why I do this? Because see, this is how it has to go. First you have to find out whether it is supply or not. If it is supply, then you have to collect. Before collecting, first take the registration and collect. Registration may two types. One is regular registration, the second one is composition registration. Okay sir, I have to collect. Now this is a supply, that means this is a sale. Then I have to collect. No sir. Okay, collecting means what rate I have to collect? Charging section. Whether I have to collect and pay, or he will pay under reverse charge. Forward charge or reverse charge. Right now you don't know what is forward charge or reverse charge. We'll discuss later. Okay sir, I will collect. For that I have to give one invoice. No. Okay, I will give invoice. Sir, I did collect sir. Once I have collected, what value I have to collect, on what value and what time? This is both we will study together. Value of supply and time of supply. So at what time I have to pay to the government? Okay, while paying, can I take input tax credit? While payment, I have to take input tax credit. Okay, once I take input tax credit, I can maintain that accounts and records. And in some cases I might need to transfer the goods from here to there. E-way bill I have to take. And payments chapter mein we will discuss that how to pay from my cash, from my pocket. And credit mein you say that sir you can deduct from credit, how to deduct from that credit. All these things we will study in payment chapter. Finally, in some other miscellaneous topics, these are TDS and TCS. Lastly, we will do the returns, and in some cases exemption. Exemption I don't keep it at the end. Exemptions I don't keep it at the end. Every day or in some videos I will mix exemption also. Why? Because it is required. For that purpose we will mix exemption and we will study. Okay. So I don't, only some topics I will keep it at the end, but entirely I don't keep it at the end. Every day exemption and all these 14-16 chapters has no relation. Exemption means on that goods there is no GST. On this service there is no GST. Just you have to remember that, that's all. So in that case, exemption and these chapters there is no link. So we will discuss about all these chapters in coming 50 to 60 hours. In 50 to 60 hours may we have to finish all this, so that you have a very good knowledge. So you have a very good knowledge about GST. So that is what I want from this class. Okay. So every day, sir, do we need to study every day? Yes, people, every day you have to study, every day you have to revise. So if this was physical class, then I would have made you to revise every day. This is not physical class, this is virtual class. In that I cannot monitor. Sir, that means in physical class were you monitoring? Yes. I was asking the students and I used to ask them the questions. I used to give them some homework, so that every day they do the homework. All these things I would have done in physical class, but this is virtual class. I believe that you do it on your own. Only responsible students, only the well-mannered student, well-behaved student take virtual class. Okay, if you don't believe yourself, then you go to physical class. So here I believe that you believe yourself and you will be in a self-discipline. So maintain that self-discipline. Based on that, we are going to start the syllabus today, and we directly start with chapter supply. There it is chapter 2, but in our syllabus it is chapter 1. First we need to study with the supply. But before going to this, directly going to the supply, something you need to know about GST now. Interesting, correct now? Why? Because even today Modi ji, our beloved Prime Minister Modi ji, he is getting some accusations. People start accusing Modi for galat GST लागू कर दी. Galat GST. Is it galat, sir? If it was galat, will it be there for 6-7 years? So 7 years has happened now. Next July 1st, it will be 7th year. So 7 years will get completed. 2017 में आया था GST, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 7th year running. 7th year running. Will it be possible for GST to survive for 7 years if it was wrong? Galat GST. See, during the beginning it was wrong GST. So who knows what will be the effect? Correct? No. But the intention of GST was good. I can vouch that, being in that position, because in office we will study about this, and when you go to articleship, you will get to know about that. And we were the one when GST was implemented. No, I was in articleship. 2017 mein I was in articleship. So 2017 mein I have seen my principal sir was he was busy with GST, in understanding GST, how to offset this, all these things. Now GST, the usually people say that this was wrong GST, this is wrong GST. People say that this is wrong GST, but I say that no. Right now many changes has happened. This is not galat GST. This is the good thing which has happened in India. GST, obviously, I don't know why how students might refer to me in future. People say that if you start telling something good about the government, no, people say that he is pro Modi. No, I am not pro Modi or anti Modi here. I am just telling you this was the good thing which has happened. Okay, so now GST, something we need to know about GST now. Okay, we'll discuss about some important point, so that we need to know about GST. Okay, GST mein, see, point number 1, this is just the preliminary, people. We will discuss about this in detail in the chapters, just now for the purpose. Now question number 1, who will pay GST? Who will pay GST? GST, I mean in the bracket to government. Who will pay GST in bracket to government? This is the question. First question. Who will pay GST? Who will pay GST to the government? It is supplier. Supplier. In bracket generally. Generally, supplier will pay amount to the government. Who will pay GST to the people? Listen to me carefully. Here onwards, you should be high alert. You are in that place. High alert should be there. You should be there with me for every second, every minute, every second. You should be there with me. First question is to you that who will pay GST? Who will pay GST to the government? To government. To government, GST will be paid by the supplier. Now the question is, sir, who is supplier? The one who sells the goods. That person is supplier. Are? Sir, now you told recipient will pay. Buyer has to pay, no sir. Buyer has to pay the GST, no sir. But that's why I wrote in to government. In the bracket, I told that to government. Who will pay GST to government? The GST will be paid to the government by supplier. Point number 2. Wait. I'll answer your question. Who will pay GST to the government? Supplier will pay. Who has the burden of GST? Who has the burden of GST? What is the meaning of burden of GST? On whose head there is burden? Who has to pay this to the government? Now burden, see, paid by supplier, but the burden, he is not paying from his pocket. Hello, he is not paying from his pocket. He will collect and pay. There is difference. There is difference. He will collect the GST and he will pay to the government. Now, from whom he will collect? Buyer, recipient. It is recipient. It is recipient who has the burden. Burden of GST is on recipient. That means recipient. That means buyer has to pay the GST to the supplier. Supplier will pay to the government. There is reason behind that. Why, sir? He could have paid on his own, no? But wait, I'll tell you why it is so. Because the supplier has to take the registration. I told you, if you have to pay the GST to the government, means you should have the registration. If you have registration, only then you can collect and pay to the government. Now, every customer, if you make customer as the one who has to pay to the government, now customer has to take the registration, no? Customer has to take the registration or not? Okay, listen, I'll keep it aside for 1 minute. For 1 minute, I'll keep this point aside, these 2 points aside. Listen to me carefully. Registration. If you have registration, then what are the difficulties, sir? If you have registration, what are the difficulty? You have to pay GST. Okay, that's okay. I can pay GST. That is not at all a problem. But you have to file return. Every month you have to file GSTR return. Every month you have to file return. GSTR 1, GSTR 3B. GSTR 1, GSTR 3B. You have to file the return. If you have the registration, you have to comply with the provisions of GST. If you have done something wrong, then there will be penalty. Registered persons, they have to file GST returns. Every month they have to file the return. This would be a problematic if you have the registration. Okay, now you know this, no? 1 minute got over, sir. Come back to this point now. If recipient has to pay to the government, don't you think recipient has to take the registration? If he takes the registration, if the customer takes the registration, he has to file the return. Returns has to be filed by that recipient. If recipient has to pay it to the government, while paying, no, he has to file the return. The return he has to file, this is the GST I have to pay. He has to file the return. Now, if recipient has to file the return, then imagine your story. Imagine your story. You went to one shop, you purchased 5-star chocolate, 5 rupees ka 5-star chocolate, GST is there, take the registration. Every month file the return. That would be a difficult, no. You have to file the return, you have to take the registration. That would be difficult. That's why recipient says, supplier, many are purchasing from you. I will pay it to you. You take the registration. Your work is to sell. No, my work is not to sell. My work is to study. You are recipient. You purchase pencil, pen, books, cloth, ice cream, chocolates, and this the cake, everything you purchase. Toys, everything that you purchase. Toys. Okay. Now you are not small kids to purchase toys. You purchase toys, everything. So you have to pay GST. Now every day you have to collect GST, itna pay karna hai mujhe, I have to pay so much. You go on keeping the count and you will pay to the government. In a house there are 5 consumers. 5 consumers has to take 5 registration. 5 people, they have to file the return. So that's why what you say, supplier, you are a big businessman. So you can do this activity. I cannot do this. So that I'll do one thing. I will pay GST to you. You collect from all your customers once you pay to the government. So that's why supplier will pay to the government, but consumer has to bear it. The burden is on the consumer, paid by the supplier. This is clear, no? Is this clear? Okay, listen to me. For 1 minute, I'll keep it aside. For 1 minute, I'll keep it aside. Listen to me carefully. See, there is a supplier, there is one buyer, there is a buyer. Supplier sold goods. Listen to me carefully. Supplier sold goods, buyer paid what? Value of the goods. Example, the goods was TV. Value is 20,000 rupees. value is 20,000, plus he has to pay GST also, plus he has to pay GST 2,000 rupees. 2,000 rupees GST, totally 22,000 rupees. Now think, people think that if this guy is not registered person, then don't pay that GST to that person. Don't pay GST. Don't pay GST. Why? Because he cannot collect GST. But do you know what he will do? What this guy will do? He don't show that GST separately. He will put that in value itself, 22,000. He will make it at 22,000. He will not show separate as GST. That is okay. That can be done. But if this guy is not registered person, no, then while giving invoice, supplier, no, this guy is supplier of goods. This guy is recipient of the goods. This guy is supplier of the goods, supplier, and this guy is recipient of the goods. Supplier has to give one invoice, bill. In that bill, he cannot show GST if he is not registered person. Sir, he is registered person, sir. Then he can show it. If he is registered person, then he can show that 22,000. But here what he will do? He will show 20,000. He will show 20,000. Sir, if he is registered person, he can show 20,000. If he is not registered person, then he cannot collect GST. Remember, he cannot collect GST if he is not registered person. Hope you understood this. See, if I am registered person, what is the meaning of registered person? Registered person means government gave me authority to collect GST from you and pay it to the government. Registered person means he is a representative of government. I am a registered person. I am representative of government. I can collect GST from you. I will pay GST to the government. I am the representative. What if I am not registered person? I am not representative. I cannot collect GST. I don't pay to the government. So I am not representative. I hope you understood this. GST can be collected and paid to the government only if you are registered person. If you are not registered person, you cannot collect GST. This is one more common point, general point. Keep this in mind. So listen, point number 3, question number 3, can unregistered person collect GST? Answer is a big no. Big no. He cannot. An unregistered person can. Question is can unregistered person collect GST, sir? No. Unregistered person cannot collect GST. Sir, what if he collects GST? Then it is offense. It is an offense. So it is a punishable offense. So they can put you in prison. So that's why. See, what is the meaning? See, you know why it is offense? Why it is offense, sir? If you ask me, sir, I am unregistered person. I will collect GST. Who will get to know whether I am registered or not? Who will get to know? I will put some dummy registration number on the board. See, if I am registered person, listen to me carefully. If I am registered person and I have a business, that means, see, if this is one shop, this is a shop, and there is one guy who is sitting here, and think that if this guy is registered person, then you know how you can check it? In his board, in his board he will write his GST number. 15 digit ka GST number will be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 digit ka GST registration number will be there. So here onwards, people remember, if you go to any business, there you purchase anything, if you ask for invoice, if the person gives you invoice, in that invoice GST number should be written. That means if he is registered person, he will write the GST number. If he is not registered person, then he will not write the GST number. In invoice as well as on the board. In the board also, when you enter that place premises, no, you check the board. In bold you can see one 15 digit ka GSTIN. Usually they will write it as GSTIN dot 15 digit number. They will write 15 digit number instead of GSTIN. I mean in front of GSTIN they will write GSTIN 15 digit number. So this 15 digit number ke are if they write it, then they are registered person. Otherwise, hello, they are not registered person. Sir, what is the consequence if they are not registered person? Whatever the invoice they give, no, in that they cannot write GST. GST is so much, value of supply is 200, GST is 20, totally 220. If this number is missing on their board or invoice, if this number is missing on their board or invoice, then they are not allowed to collect GST. If they collect GST, no, tell them you are not registered person, you cannot collect GST. Now, my question was, why it is offense? You went to one place, their GST number, you don't find GST number, and in invoice also you don't find GST number. He has collected GST. You can ask him why you are collecting GST. You can ask him. He says that no, it is my wish, I can collect GST. That is an offense. Why? Because the value of the goods is 200. Actual value of the goods is 200. On that 20 rupees you are adding. Don't you think this will lead to inflation now? This 20 rupees. That 20 rupees is kept by the person. He is not registered person. He will not pay to the government. He will keep it in his pocket. That means he is enjoying in the name of government. Government did not authorize him, but still he is collecting GST. That means he is enjoying in the name of government. Government says, hey, this is offense. If you are registered person, only then collect. Otherwise, it will make inflation. I don't want to be the reason for inflation. Already I have many accusations on me. People are telling me that I am so and so. Already I have so many headaches. Don't add this headache. If you are collecting without registration, if you are collecting, then I will make you sit behind bars, or I can put you some penalty. So that's why unregistered person cannot collect GST. This you understood? Very good. Nice. So that is third point. Next one, listen. I hope you are enjoying this. Correct, no? Who said GST? GST is wrong one. Or who said GST is a difficult one? No, GST is actually easy, people, easy. Listen, there is one supplier and there is one recipient. There is a supplier and there is recipient. This is Mr. S, this is Mr. R. Supplier and recipient. Okay, supplier sold goods to this person and this guy is registered person. Okay, this guy is registered person. Whenever he is selling some goods, and he will take 20,000 rupees. Think 20,000 rupees and 2,000 is GST. Now tell me, can he collect GST? Collect or not? Yes. Why, sir? Because he is registered person. Can he collect GST? Yes, he can collect GST. So value of supply is 20,000 and GST is 2,000. Totally 22,000. 22,000. Now you tell me, being a registered person, how much from this 22,000, in this 22,000, in this, sorry, okay, in this 22,000, 20,000 goes to the pocket, 20,000 goes to the pocket of Mr. S, Mr. S, supplier pocket. And now what is this, sir? What is this? Sorry, not like this, no? Government. This is government, people. Our government it is. This is our government. So now, out of 22,000, 20,000 goes to supplier and other 2,000 has to go to government. That 2000 has to go to government. Now this is called as forward charge mechanism, FCM. This is called as forward charge mechanism. What is forward charge mechanism? Listen to me carefully. I'll just take this side. Okay. This is forward charge mechanism. What happens in forward charge mechanism? Again, people, what happens in forward charge mechanism? Supplier will collect GST and supplier will pay this to the government. This is forward charge mechanism. Listen to me carefully. This is called as forward charge mechanism, where supplier will collect GST. See, this GST is collected by the supplier and supplier will pay it to the government. This is called as forward charge mechanism. Supplier collects, supplier will pay it to the government. This is forward charge mechanism. Here onwards, I believe you don't forget this. This is called as forward charge. Usually 95% of the time it is forward charge mechanism. 95% of the time forward charge mechanism. The supplier who has the registration, he will collect and he will pay it to the government. This is forward charge mechanism. There is something called as reverse charge mechanism. Not forward charge mechanism, sir, reverse charge mechanism. Let me explain what is reverse charge mechanism. Just like forward charge mechanism, only one change is there. What is that change, sir? Okay. So there is supplier, this guy is supplier and this guy is recipient. Correct, no? This guy is supplier and this guy is recipient. Supplier sold goods worth rupees 20,000. But supplier will collect only 20,000. He will not collect GST. Supplier will not collect GST, and we have a government. We have a government. This 2,000 he had to pay. That 2,000 directly he will pay it to the government. This is called as reverse charge mechanism, RCM. This is called as reverse charge mechanism. See the difference between FCM and RCM. In FCM, supplier will collect GST and supplier will pay it to the government. This is FCM. In RCM, supplier will not collect GST. Recipient directly pay it to the government. This is RCM. See, in FCM, supplier will collect and supplier will pay it to the government. In RCM, supplier will not collect. Recipient directly pay it to the government. This is RCM. Sir, why RCM, sir? When it was FCM, why RCM? I'll give you one example. You tell me whether it is logical or not. Logical one. There is one guy, a poor guy, not poor guy, but innocent guy, farmer. People, we have to give most importance to the farmers. They are innocent, and how much ever rich they are, pray to God that farmer should be a rich one. Farmer should be rich. In this world, I don't know about others, but farmers, the Bhagwan, hey Bhagwan, keep farmers as rich as possible. Okay, This farmer is an innocent guy, and there is one person. There is a person who is supplier. Okay, who is a supplier. Now this is farmer, innocent guy. Okay. Now, what are the headaches of farmer? Don't you think farmer is already having some headache? What is his headache? So there is no rain, it's not raining, or he has to look after his family. No, so family, everyone has to look after, but still there is no rain and he is very much worried about, see, his complete life is dependent on the environment. In our case, our life is dependent on our own work. But in his case, farmer's headache is completely different. He is dependent on rain, he is dependent on some other people, he is dependent on the flood, he is correct, no? So these kind of natural calamities, he is already worried, and at the same time number of farmers are also very less. And if you look at the farmers, they are very innocent, and anyone can see. Nowadays farmers are also having some common sense, they are very good in common sense. But when they come to the city, no, they don't know, they get some confusions. So they believe that, they think that everyone is like them. So that person is innocent one. People believe that, farmer, when farmer is innocent, he believes that everyone with whom he is doing some transaction, no, that person is also innocent. But the other one is deceiving this guy. Correct, no? Anyway, his farmer, his tension is different. Now, he will cultivate something, he will cultivate some goods and he will sell it to a guy, trader. Example, coconut. He will cultivate coconut, and this coconut, no, he will sell it to the trader. Now, who is the supplier here? For coconut, who is supplying coconut? Farmer is supplying coconut. Farmer is the supplier, trader is the recipient. Now, if farmer is the supplier, and if on coconut, if there is FCM, think, if there is FCM, already farmer has one headache, it's not raining, there is drought, or there is over rainfall, because of which there is flood, and he doesn't know what to do in the off season. All these headaches that he already has. So if he is the supplier, and if it is under FCM, then this guy has to take the registration, and he has to collect GST, he has to pay GST to the government. Every month he has to do this activity, one more headache is added. That's why government says, farmer, you are the backbone of country, so that we will relieve you. Don't worry, you don't have to pay, you don't take registration, enjoy. Your headache is already there, no? At least during off season, take some rest. Prepare yourself for doing something in the season time, so that we can eat something. You are doing such a wonderful job, so that we can eat something. Farmer, to you I bow my head, to the farmer. So this is what government says. Farmer, you are the one who is feeding us, so that we will not make you taxable. So you are out of this danger, you are out of this registration. But hey, trader, you are purchasing, no? You are not the farmer. Oh, trader, crooked guy, you are not the farmer. Don't try to cheat government. Trader, whenever you are purchasing, no, don't pay GST to the farmer, otherwise farmer has to take the registration and farmer has to take that headache. I will give headache to you. You take this headache. Trader is happy. Okay. Trader, nowadays businessmen, no, they are also happy. They say that, that's okay government, I am there with you. Farmer, don't worry, I am there with you. Farmer, you are the supplier. You supply it to me. You supply it to me. I don't pay GST to you, so that you have the headache. Don't worry, on your behalf, I will pay to the government. Janata Janardhan Jai. So now this is, trader will pay under RCM. I hope you understood this. Farmer, see, if farmer collects, farmer has to pay to the government. Paying means he has to take registration. If he takes the registration, every month he has to file the return, every month he has to comply with the provisions of GST, will be a difficult part. For that purpose, Desh Bandhu, backbone of the nation, we will keep you out of this tension. You don't worry, trader, he is there to help you. Trader says, yes sir, I am happy to help a farmer and I am happy to serve for the nation. I will also serve the nation. I will pay to the government under RCM. Actually, who is recipient? Trader is recipient, he will pay under RCM. So that, remember, in charging chapter, no, we will discuss about what is under FCM and what is under RCM. Which are the goods under RCM, which are the goods under FCM, which are the services under RCM, which are the services that are under FCM. So we will discuss. This is one more point I wanted you to know about. So here, One more question. Question number 4 is, what is RCM? FCM. What is FCM? Supplier purchases, supplier collects GST. Supplier collects GST and pay it to, supplier collects GST and pay it to government. Pay it to the government. Supplier collects GST and pay it to government. This is FCM. Fifth one, what is, sir? I want to know what is RCM. Okay, see here, fifth question is, what is RCM? What is RCM? Where supplier will not collect, but recipient of goods or services pays directly to government. Supplier will not collect, Supplier will not collect, but recipient pays directly to the government. This is RCM, reverse charge mechanism, forward charge and reverse charge mechanism. Now, point number 6 is, what is ITC? What is ITC, or input tax credit? Question is, what is input tax credit? We have already discussed what is input tax credit, yes or no? Once again, listen. Once again, think that there are two guys. Here, supplier, recipient. There are two guys, one is supplier, the other one is recipient. Supplier sold this goods to the recipient. Supplier sold some goods to the recipient. Correct? Supplier sold some goods to the recipient. And what goods, sir? Now, example, washing machine. Okay, this is washing machine with the pipe here. Washing machine. So this is the washing machine. Supplier sold the recipient washing machine. Okay. Now, the value of washing machine, value of supply. What is the value of supply of washing machine? Example, somewhere 15,000 rupees. Okay. Washing machine, value of supply is 15,000. On that GST, example 10%, 1,500 is the GST amount. Totally 16,500 paid by recipient. Now, who is recipient, sir? Example, Suman Electronics. Okay, Suman Electronics. Recipient is Suman Electronics. Supplier is Whirlpool. Whirlpool company sold washing machine to Suman Electronics. Okay, Suman Electronics paid value of supply 15,000 and 1,500 GST. Now, what Whirlpool will do? They will keep 15,000 with them, 15,000 to Whirlpool, and 1,500 plus 1,500. No, totally they got 16,500. 15,000 to the company and 1,500 will go to the government. $15,000 mein 1,500 will go to the government. Okay. Now, who paid this? do you think the burden is on whom? Burden is on recipient. Burden should be on recipient. GST, complete GST has to be paid by recipient. Okay, burden was on recipient. Suman Electronics paid that 1500. GST 1500 Suman Electronics. Now, do you think Suman Electronics that keeps that with them? No, they will sell this. No, electronics. This is a shop. So Whirlpool is also registered and Suman is also registered under GST. GST registered under GST. Sir, which registration, sir? GST registration. They have to take GST registration. Registered under GST Act. Okay. Suman Electronics is also registered. Okay, sir. Suman Electronics is also registered. Now, they will sell the same washing machine. What they do? They will sell the same washing machine to a customer, directly to a customer. They will sell the same washing machine directly to the customer. Okay. What I will do? Duplicate. Okay. Same washing machine. Same washing machine sold by Suman Electronics to the customer. Final customer. Customer. Directly they sold this to the customer. Now customer, at what price, sir? At what price? Suman Electronics, they will add their profit. Example, 1500 extra. So, no, not 1500. Example, 20,000. They sold this for 20,000 to customer. Customer also paid how much as the GST? See, what is the GST rate here? 1500 is 10% of 15,000. No, example, 10%. We will take it as 10%. Same 10% is applicable even here. 2,000 rupees. Wait, bacho. 2,000 rupees. Same 2,000. 10%. 10% of, see, GST is ad valorem. Ad valorem means it is a percentage of value of supply. It is a percentage on value of supply. That percentage, it is 10%. GST is at 10%. Example, GST on washing machine is 10%. 10% of 20,000 is 2,000. Totally 22,000 paid by C to R. C to R, recipient, Suman Electronics. They paid 22,000. Now, what is this 20,000? Value of supply. What is 2,000? GST. So, customer paid 22,000. Out of that, 2,000 is GST, no? Value of supply is 20,000 and GST is 2,000. Totally 22,000. Okay. Now, you tell me, burden should be on whom? Burden of payment of GST should be on dash. Should be on, burden of payment should be on ultimate consumer. Now, do you think Whirlpool washing machine, this washing machine, no, was used by Suman Electronics? No. If they use it, burden is on them. They are not using that. They sold it. That means burden should be on customer. So the 2,000 burden should be on customer. Okay. Now Suman Electronics received 2,000 in the name of GST. GST burden should be on customer. Suman Electronics received 2,000 in the name of GST. But don't you think 1,500 is paid by them? 1,500 is paid by Suman Electronics to Whirlpool, no? This 1,500 actually should have not been paid by them. That should be paid by the customer. This customer, he had to pay that. So Suman Electronics paid 1,500. They got 2,000. Suman Electronics paid 1,500. They got 2,000. So what can be done? Set off. So that means 2,000 is collected by them minus 1,500, so that 500 extra, this 500 extra will be paid by Suman Electronics to government. So totally, now how much government got? Government got 1,500 from Whirlpool. Whirlpool paid it, but collected from Suman Electronics. Collected from Suman Electronics, but Whirlpool paid that 1,500. and 500 paid by Suman Electronics. Suman Electronics paid by Suman Electronics but collected from customer. So that means this total 1500, no, total 1500 it is paid by customer. How, sir? See, this 1500 Whirlpool paid it, but from its pocket? No, it did collect and pay, no. So that's why Whirlpool collected 1500, paid it to the government. 1500 came, 1500 gone, zero. In the name of GST, Whirlpool has zero amount. Now, okay, Suman Electronics, they paid 1500, they paid 1500, they did collect 2000. In that, see, they paid 1500. Already minus 1500 has happened. They paid 1500. They did collect 2000 plus 2000. And when they got 2000, they had to pay 500 to the government. Minus 500. Totally minus 2000 plus 2000. Array, Suman Electronics also did not lose anything in the name of GST. Suman Electronics paid 1500, collected 2000, 2000 is collected, paid 1500, okay, I'll set off that 1500, extra 500 I have collected, no, that is not my money, it is GST government money, I'll pay to the government, gone. It is paid to the government here. So now finally, Suman Electronics collected 2000, paid 2000, zero. Suman Electronics did not pay anything, Whirlpool paid nothing. That means now in this case, finally it is paid by customer. So burden is on customer. Now I wanted to highlight you only one thing here. See, 2000 collected by Suman, he deducted 1500, no. This deduction is input tax credit. He can take ITC on purchases. ITC on purchases. While purchasing whatever he paid, no, that he can take credit. So, I hope you understood this ITC ka diagram. Understood? Very good. Listen. What is ITC? What is ITC now? It is the credit on it is the credit on purchase of goods. It is credit on wait, I'll do one thing, I'll rub this. It is the credit taken on payment of GST paid on purchase of goods. It is the credit taken on payment of the GST paid on purchase of the goods by registered person. It is the credit taken on payment of GST paid on the purchase of goods by the registered person. Registered person has purchased some goods, he has paid some GST, on that GST he can claim ITC. Claiming ITC, input tax credit, is nothing but a person has purchased. Registered person, sir, I am not registered person, I have purchased the goods, can I take ITC, sir? No, sir, I am so sorry, sir, you cannot take ITC, sir. You cannot take ITC. Why? Because if you are not registered person, you are as good as customer. You are a customer. If you are not registered person, you are as good as customer. You cannot collect GST. You cannot collect anything in the name of GST. Okay, yes sir. This is about one point. What is ITC? What is ITC? That is the credit taken on payment of GST paid on purchase of goods by the registered person. Next question is that seventh one, question number 7. Refresh. Sorry, I lost that page. That's okay, but you have the question. If you rewind it, you can get it, no? Okay, question number 7. Question number 7, that means commonly asked questions. So you might have these questions now. Question number 7 is, can unregistered person, URP, unregistered person, avail ITC? What is the meaning of avail? Taking. Can he avail ITC, input tax credit? No. Answer is no. An unregistered person cannot avail ITC. He cannot avail ITC. So who has to avail ITC? Only registered person can avail ITC. Okay. Question number 8. Question number 8. Only registered person has the burden of GST. Only registered person has the burden of GST? No. See, what is the meaning of burden? We already discussed. Burden is different, payment is different. Registered person, only registered person can collect and pay the GST. Collect and paying the GST is only by registered person. But everyone in India, they have to pay GST. Burden of paying GST, whether you are registered person, unregistered person, small kid, infant, the oldest one in India, whomsoever you are, you have to pay the GST. There is only one who has no burden of GST. There is only one person who has no burden of GST. You know who is that? A person who is dead. A person who is dead, no? He has no burden of GST. Aram se, anything which is done by that person, no? I mean, in the sense, anything which is done towards that person, that is neither supply of goods nor supply of service. Don't worry. Okay. So that means, it doesn't mean that people should die, but I am telling you, that means the crux is that no one in India who is not paying GST. Even a small kid, if it purchases one chocolate by paying 5 rupees, that 5 rupees has GST. That 5 rupees includes GST. If you are purchasing exempt goods, then you are not paying GST. Example, electricity. This electricity is exempt. Now you are not paying GST. Electricity is required for development of the country. For that purpose, government says that there is no GST on electricity. Now you are not paying. If you are consuming electricity, no, then you are not paying GST. Otherwise, you are paying GST. So the burden is on everyone. Burden, you are registered person or unregistered person. Burden is on everyone. No, burden is on everyone. Burden is on everyone. Sir, a shopkeeper, he is not registered person. Question, see students, question, they ask what kind of question? See, that's why I am discussing about all these questions in the beginning, so that you have this idea. At least this video, no, you have to watch it twice you have to watch this video before we start with the GST. Understand all these basic concepts and make sure that you know these concepts. After that, you start watching the actual class. We have not started class yet. This is some basic points which I am telling you, general knowledge these are. This is not related to your, this is related to the subject, but Nowhere it is separately mentioned in your syllabus, but this is there. Remember, this is first we will clarify all these things, later we will go to the actual crux. Okay. What student will ask, sometimes students ask that, sir, unregistered person, you told that unregistered person should not collect GST. Unregistered person sold goods to me, sir. Unregistered person sold goods to me and I am not paying GST now, sir. Hari, Alak Niranjan, I am not paying GST now. So you told that registered person can collect GST. I purchased some goods from a person who is not registered person, sir. I collected goods from that person. Now, I did not pay GST, no, sir. Arey, if you think that this is our foolishness, if I think that this is my foolishness. Why? Because see, any goods that you purchase, example, one chocolate, 5-star chocolate you purchased, and if you see that rupees 5 in bracket inclusive of MRP. MRP is 5, MRP maximum retail price is rupees 5 inclusive of GST. GST is already included, it is inclusive of GST or inclusive of all taxes. They will write usually inclusive of all taxes. That means if you are paying 5 rupees, you are paying GST. Sir, now you told GST should not be collected by that person. Array, I also told you GST separately should not be collected. GST should be included in the value. 22,000. GST will be included. He cannot collect it separately. 5 rupees plus GST. Array, the value is 5 rupees. No, government is telling me I have to collect 1 rupee GST. Totally 6 rupees. No. If you are unregistered person, you cannot collect GST. 1 rupee extra you cannot collect. So you have to collect only 5 rupees. Okay, sir. Now I am registered person. Okay. So this you understood now. He cannot separately collect. What is there? 5 rupees. No, that he has to. It is inclusive. GST is included already. In that 5 rupees, GST is included. Separately 1 rupee don't collect. It is already included in that 5 rupees. 5 rupees ka packet it is already included in that. Sir, chalo, okay, fine. Now you tell me, I am registered person, sir. Sir, now you told that registered person, if he is registered person, unregistered person, he cannot collect this 1 rupee extra. Wrong, he can collect only 5 rupees. It is inclusive of GST. Okay. Now I am registered person, sir. Can I collect GST 1 rupee extra? Can I collect 1 rupee extra? Yes, it is your wish. You can collect 1 rupee extra. If you wish to collect, you can collect. But that is also wrong. That is also wrong. Why? Because on 5 rupees, 5 rupees is already including GST, no? 5 rupees is already including GST. Then you cannot show separate 1 rupee. 5 rupee is written in the bracket. 5 rupees is inclusive of GST. Correct. 5 rupees is inclusive of GST. Then 1 rupee extra if you collect, that is offense. You cannot collect 1 rupee extra. Sir, then what to do, sir? If I write only 5 rupees, that is wrong, no, sir. I have to collect GST because I am a registered person, sir. You only say that you cannot show 1 rupee separately. 5 rupees is inclusive of GST. Now what to do, sir? Now you have to divide this 5 rupees into 2 parts. One is value of supply, the other one is GST. How to divide, sir? Think, 5 rupees pe 10% is GST. 10% is GST on 5 rupees. Then how to calculate, sir? Simple, 5 rupees is inclusive of GST, that is 10%, that means 110. 5 rupees is including 10%, that means 110. Then what is 100? Cross multiplication, 7th standard ka mathematics, 7th standards ka mathematics it is. So that 100 multiplied by 5 divided by 110, answer is value of supply is equal to 4.545454. 4.545454. Now what will be GST on this? Multiplied by 10%, answer is 0.454546. If you write this, now if you total, answer is 5 rupees. In your invoice, if registered person is selling 5-star, then he has to show it like this. Value of supply is 4.545454, GST is 0.454545. If unregistered person is selling, then he has to write 5 rupees. He cannot collect GST. I hope this is clear. Here onwards, wherever you go, whatever the goods that you purchase, if you have the invoice, check that invoice. If the person is registered person, think that the value, you go and ask the person. There is one guy in the shopkeeper. You will ask the shopkeeper, I want the calculator. What is the value of this calculator? He says that you want bill or you don't want bill. Definitely ask for bill. Please do ask for bill. Okay, ask for bill. If then definitely he say that some not everyone, some crooked guys, some thieves, they say that you want bill or you don't want bill. If you say yes, I want bill, then there is GST. 200 plus 20 rupees GST. 220. If you don't want bill, then only 200 rupees. That means if you want bill, then I will write 220. You have to pay. Obviously, then what you will say? No sir, I don't want bill. Give me the goods. You will pay 200. You will get the calculator and you will come. Getting this? There are some people. They say that with the bill or without bill, it is 200 rupees. Inclusive of GST. 200 rupees is inclusive of GST. Then you check. With the bill 200 rupees, without bill 200, with the bill also 200. In that case, what they do, 200 rupees, they will divide it into 2 parts. They have to divide this into 2 parts. 200 rupees is inclusive of GST, example 18%, 118. Then if GST is 118, then what is 100? Cross multiplication. 200 into 100 divided by 118. So it is 169.49 is CGS, value of supply, minus 200, answer is 30.508. 200 minus 169.49. So 30.51. We will write it as 30.51. So 30.51. If you add this, you will get 200. If you want to cross check, 169.49 multiplied by 18%, answer is 30.51. Answer is 30.51. So this is some of the doubts which are asked by the students. So some basic ideas, basic knowledge, basic understanding before we go into the actual GST. Okay sir, now one last point, and later I will stop this video. Okay, here one last point. People, everyone, for next somewhere 10-20 minutes you should be here. 100% you should be here. Very interesting fact it is. For students it is very interesting fact. Listen to me carefully. Very interesting one. There is a guy, supplier, okay, he is supplier, and there is one guy, okay, he is recipient. Sir, when you sold the goods, example washing machine again or TV, the value is 20,000 rupees, sir, the value is 20,000 and he paid you 2,000, he paid you 2,000. So totally he paid you 22,000 rupees. Now, sir, supplier paid this 2,000 rupees to the government. Supplier paid that 2,000 rupees to the government and supplier kept 20,000 with him. Now you said that, sir, just now you said no, sir, recipient can take ITC for 2,000 rupees. He paid 2,000, no. For this he can take ITC of 2,000 rupees. Sir, he is a thief. This guy is thief. How he thought that how the government will get to know that 2000 rupees, I paid 2000 rupees. I'll do one thing, I'll take 3000 rupees as ITC. I'll take 3000 rupees ITC. Or see, listen, people listen, I'll rub this, I'll explain again, listen. This recipient, no, he sold the same goods, both are registered person, okay, both are registered person, supplier and recipient, both are registered person. He sold the same goods to one more recipient, R2, recipient 2, one more recipient for 22,000, and he did collect 2,200. He did collect 2,200. Finally, he did collect 24,200. 24,200. है ना? He did collect 24,200. Yes, sir, you are right. 24,200. In that, he already paid 2,000. He has to pay 2,200 to the government. He did collect 2,200. As you said, ITC. He will get ITC on this 2,000. Instead of deducting 2,000, he did deduct 2,200, sir. By thinking that how the government will get to know. I will take 2,200 so that 0. I have to pay 0 to the government. Otherwise, I have to pay 200. No, I will enjoy that 200. I will take 2,200 as ITC. Who will get to know? I will enjoy. That was there in his mind, crooked mind. Government also came to know about this. Government already had think of this. Correct? No. Already they will think about all these things. Now, you know what government did? You cannot take ITC. 2,200. Simply you cannot take ITC. There is some procedure. Very interesting one. Procedure is very interesting one. Listen. The procedure is very interesting one. Now, what happens now? What happens? I'll give you one more point, one more example. Listen. This guy, no, he sold goods to his registered person. His registered person. This guy's name is Mr. Pushpa. This guy is Pushpa. Mr. Pushpa. Pushpa sold goods to Raj. He sold goods to Raj, who is also registered person. He sold goods to Raj, who is also registered person. He sold goods to Rocky. That guy is also registered person. And he sold goods to Donkey. That donkey, unregistered person, not registered person. Donkey, Papa Donkey, no, unregistered person. And he sold goods to Animal. One more scrap movie, Animal. Violence, something related to violence. Animal. Unregistered person. So this Pushpa sold goods to Raj, Rocky, Donkey, and okay, I'll do one thing, Monkey. This Raj, Pushpa sold goods to Raj, Rocky, Donkey, Monkey. Now, unregistered person. Now, can you tell me unregistered person can take ITC? Can unregistered person take ITC? Can unregistered person take ITC? Can unregistered person avail ITC? No. No. That means here also, these two guys don't get ITC. They don't want ITC. They don't get ITC. Gone. But Raj and Rocky will get ITC. So listen to me carefully. Now Pushpa to Raj sold goods worth rupees 1 lakh plus GST of 10,000. This is value of supply plus GST 10,000. To Rocky they sold goods worth rupees 2 lakhs 20 lakhs plus 2 lakhs GST. To Donkey he sold goods worth rupees 20,000 plus 2,000 GST. And to Monkey they sold goods worth rupees 5,000 and 500 as the GST. ठीक है? People understood? So this is value of supply. All these are value of supply, and this is GST, corresponding GST. Okay. All the sales, all these sales, no, this has happened in the month of January. This has happened in the month of January. For the month of January, he has to file the return. See, for anything which is sold in the month of January, now this Pushpa has to file, registered person, he has to file one return. Return. What is the meaning of return, sir? It is a statement which is filled by the registered person. Registered person will fill all the statements, its details in GSTR1. Form is GSTR1. GST return 1. Pushpa will file GSTR1. GSTR1. He will file GSTR1 for the month of January. Whatever he sold in the month of January, he has to file the return in for the month of January. That is GSTR1, which is sales statement. GSTR1 is sales statement. I hope people you are getting this. GSTR1 is sales statement. The Pushpa has to file GSTR1, that GSTR1 is sales statement. Whatever Pushpa sold in January, no, he has to put that. He goes on putting this in GSTR1. Again, listen, Pushpa, whatever he sells in GSTR1, no, he has to go on putting this in GSTR. I mean, whatever Pushpa sells, no, in the month of January, he has to go on putting this in January month ka GSTR1. He goes on filing this in GSTR1. Putting this, he will write, I sold, see, example, for the month of January. Think that, okay, we are in the month of February now. Okay, yes, listen. This is not January, February. Now, on 1st of February, think that I am Pushparaj, jukega nahi, Now I am Pushparaj. Pushparaj sold goods. I am Pushparaj, I sold goods to Raj. I am Pushpa, sold goods to Raj. Now to Raj here, first guy, Raj, no? To this Raj, I sold goods worth rupees 1 lakh on 1st of February. That means yesterday. This is 2nd of February. Last day, 1st of February, I sold 1 lakh rupees ka goods worth 1 lakh to Raj. Immediately, in GST common portal, there is one GSTIN common portal in the site. I will show you that site later. I will show you that site in the coming days. In site, in my registration, I have to log in, and there for the month of February, there is one GSTR1. I click that, I open that GSTR1. In GSTR1, I have to put my sales. I will write that, I sold on 1st of February. I open this GSTR1 on 1st of February. I can open this n number of times. See, this is just like Facebook. Not Facebook. I'm so sorry. If I say that, that will be wrong. Just like your account, you can log in bank account. Okay, best example is bank account. Log in, go there, put the amount, put the sales. You can log in at any time. How many times you want, you can log in. You can log in and you can put it in GSTR1, B2B sales, B2B. Why B2B? Pushpa is also registered, Raj is also registered. That's why it is B2B, business to business, B2B sales. Listen, this is B2B sales. On 1st of February 2024, I sold in, it is Pushpa. Pushpa's GSTR1 it is, correct? No, this is, I am Pushpa. My GSTR1 it is. In my GSTR1, 1 February 2024, 1st of February 2024, on 1st of February 2024, GSTR1, I will file GSTR, I will put this in GSTR1. I paid to Raj. I sold to Raj. Raj paid me 1 lakh plus 10,000 GST. This is 1 lakh value of supply, 10,000 GST, and I will click on save. Save, not file. I'll click on save. If I click on save without error, if there is no error, then it will get saved. So there is huge procedure is there. See, I have to put Raj's GST number. I have to put the Raj's 15-digit GST number. I have to put there, and I have to save this. And at the same time, this is B2B, no. On example, on 2nd of February 2024, I sold to Rocky. I sold to Rocky 20 lakh rupees worth goods plus 2 lakhs GST. 20 lakh ka goods plus 2 lakh GST, and I will put Rocky ka GST number. Under Rocky's GST number, I did upload 20 lakh plus 2 lakh and I gave save. Saved. It got saved. As and when I make sales, no, I go to GSTR1 for the month of February. This is February month. So in the February meantime, whenever I sell, no, I go there, I log in, I put that, done. Save. I went on saving. Now what about this guy, sir? Pushpa is selling to monkey and donkey, no. Rocky is done. Now donkey and monkey. Unregistered person. I cannot put this here. There is one more tab called as business to customer, B2C. There I will write it consolidated, one amount. I will write consolidated. Sales, I don't write monkey donkey, not required. Sale at 10%. Sales at 10%. See, 10%, then sales at 10%. If it is not 10%, example 20%, I have to write sale at 20%. I have to select the rate 20%. And see, 20% is not there. 10%, both are at 10%. 20,000 plus 5,000, 25,000 is value of supply. Do I need to put GST number here? No. Why, sir? See, these two are registered person. Raj and Rocky registered person. But monkey donkey are not registered persons. So that total 2,000 plus 500, 2,500. 2,500. So I'll give save. I saved it. I'll give save. I saved it. B2C. This is GSTR 1 of Pushpa. Why I am telling this, people, I hope that you are understanding this so far. Whatever I told, no, you understood. If not, rewind and listen to this again. Rewind and listen to this again. Okay. Pushpa. B2B GSTR 1. Pushpa's GSTR 1 it is. Who is Pushpa, sir? Pushpa is the seller. For the month of February, he sold. This is February month ka GSTR 1. This is February month ka GSTR 1. Pushpa sold, no. His GSTR 1 mein, that is his sales. Only sales I will put here. And finally, when I have to file this GSTR 1. See, saving is different, filing is different. If I file this, that information will directly go to the government. Saving is different, filing is different. Now I filed GSTR 1, sir. Sorry. I filed GSTR. Now I have to file GSTR 1. When I have to file GSTR 1? Can I file GSTR 1 of February in the month of February? No, not possible. What if I sell? What if I filed the return for February month, 28th of February? Think, this is 28th of February. By 4 o'clock, I filed. Think, if I can file. Not possible. February month ka return you cannot file in February month. Why? For that I am giving explanation. 28th of February, think that today it is 28th of February. 4 o'clock, if it was possible, think, I filed the return. What if I sell by 6 o'clock when I was shutting the door? A guy came and he said, sir, I want that goods. Can you sell me the goods? Can I say no to my customer? No, I filed already return. You come tomorrow. Nale ba. Come tomorrow. Kallana. Ostri kallana. Can I say that? No, I don't say this to my customer. I am not supposed to say this to my customer. I will not say this to my customer. Finally, I have to sell now. Then question mark is, where to show this? Can I revise the return? No. In GST, you cannot revise the return. That's why government says you can file the return for February only after February. 28th of February is done, sir. 1st of March, now you can file. 2nd of March, can I file, sir? Yes. 3rd of March, yes. 4th of March, yes. 5th of March, yes. Are you are telling yes, sir? Are you dancing? 7th of March, yes. 8th of March, yes. No. So that means government says you can file from 1st of March anytime, but before 11th of March. Last date to file the GSTR 1 is 11th of March. Last date to file GSTR 1 is 11th of March. That means, sir, after that I cannot file. Yes, you can file. You can file, but the consequence is different. So you have to file. You have to put the sales of February by March 11th. By March 11th, you have to put the February ka sales by March 11th. Sir, March month ka sales by April 11th. Sir, April month ka sales by May 11th. May month ka sales June 11th. June, July 11th. July, August 11th. Like this. The simple rule is that before death you cannot post-mortem. So return is post-mortem. If you are doing return, no, that is post-mortem. Before death you cannot do post-mortem. You can treatment. You can do some treatment. You can do some GSTR 1 mein, you can do some here and there, some adjustments can be done. But once you file, no, later you cannot treat. Treatment cannot be done. After post-mortem you cannot do treatment. First treatment. If that is not possible, then post-mortem. That's why February month ka return, no, you have to file in March. So this is saving, this is not filing. I told you this is not filing, this is saving. He went on saving, and the last date to file the return, filing is by 11th. By 11th you have to file it. You have to file it by 11th. Okay, listen. Listen to me carefully. 11th. Think, he went on saving, save. What is the consequence of this GSTR 1? The moment he press on save, GSTR 1, no, Pushpa opened GSTR 1, B2B sales mein, he wrote Raj, the date, invoice date and value of supply, GST, that is collected by Pushpa from Raj. Pushpa did collect from Raj 1 lakh rupees value of supply and GST 10,000, and by putting Raj ka GST number, and he clicked on save. He clicked on save. Baba, he clicked on save. Okay, once he click on save, no, you know the consequence. Immediately this Raj, who is there, no, Raj will get one notification in the sense, not to Facebook, WhatsApp or SMS, not that kind of notification. Actually he will not get any pop-up notification, no notification, but if he gives save, no, immediately that will appear in GSTR 2A. That will appear in GSTR 2A of Raj. When, see, this is Pushpa. Now this is Raj. Raj has to log in. Once Raj logins and he has to open GSTR, his GSTR 2A. There is something called as GSTR 2A. So just like GSTR 1 tab, There is one more tab, GSTR 2A. So in this GSTR 2A, he has to open GSTR 2A. In this GSTR 2A, it is automatic, auto-populated, auto-generated or autofill. What is autofill? Automatically it will get filled. Can I change here? No. Auto-generated or auto-filled it is. Can I change? No. It is view only. View only. It is view only. Listen to me very carefully. This is view only. For whom? To Raj. To Raj, it is view only. He can see, what has happened? I purchased so much of goods from Pushpa. Pushpa has saved it in his GSTR1. That is getting reflected in my 2A. See, on 1st of January, no? So 1st of February, Pushpa will enter this in 1st of February. On 1st of February, immediately it will get reflected in GSTR. I'm so sorry. The mic was not working. Here, GST common portal, the moment you get the registration, no, in that, so I think you heard about all these things, no? Where to take the registration, all these things that you understood. Okay. So the common portal, it is just like a Paytm. Example, I'm just giving the example. Two ledgers will get open. Two ledgers are there. One is credit ledger. The other one is cash ledger. You have one credit ledger and one cash ledger. Credit ledger and cash ledger. Now what is cash ledger, sir? It is just like a Paytm wallet. Paytm or some other, the payments bank wallets you have, no? Just like that. It is one wallet. So whenever you put money, you log in and you pay some amount. I want to pay the amount. Services pay, payment. Here in GST, go to services, payments. When you click on payments, no, can create a challan. I can create a challan here. When I create challan, it will ask for what reason. See, I did not log in here. That's why it is asking me GSTIN or other ID. Put the ID for payment purpose. You have to put the GST number and proceed. Moment I proceed, it will take me to the one challan. I have to fill all the details and I have to do the internet banking payment. The moment I do the payment, what happens, sir? If I do the payment, it will get credited. Why credited, sir? It will get credited to my cash ledger. Why credited? It's just like bank account. See, if you put money to the bank, you will get one message. What message you will get? Your account has been credited with, because you are putting money. Whenever you pay from cash ledger, if you pay GST, then it will get debited. Plus is credited, minus is debited. It will get debited. Cash ledger is there. One more credit ledger. Whenever you purchase and you pay the amount to the supplier, what supplier will do? He will file his GSTR1. The moment he puts in GSTR1, it will get reflected in my 2A and 2B. 2A and 2B, and later I have to claim that. See, if it is reflected in 2A and 2B, it will not be added to my credit ledger. I have to claim it. How I have to claim? I paid it to my supplier. Supplier gave it to the government. And supplier filed GSTR1. He will furnish this amount in GSTR1. That will get reflected in my 2A and 2B. When it gets reflected in my 2A and 2B, later I have to claim it. हाँ चाहिए मुझे पैसा ही पैसा चाहिए. So I want to claim it. When I claim it, it will get, what happens here? It will get credited. When I purchase, it will get credited. When I utilize this, utilize means I will pay from this credit. See, I received and I deduct, no? How I deduct? By debiting. I will debit the credit ledger. The amount will be gone. So this is also, see, where to take the registration? gst.gov.in. There in services you have to take the registration. The moment you get the registration, no, two ledgers will get open. One is credit ledger, another one is cash ledger. Whenever you purchase, it will get to the credit ledger. Whenever you load some money, it will get credited to your cash ledger. Whenever you pay out of cash ledger and credit ledger, it will get debited. So these are some important points that I had to discuss with you in the beginning itself. So that these are the points. If these points are very clear to you, then we can go to the chapters. So the important chapter starting from supply. I suggest that people, my students, my dear students, please take me seriously, that all these points, no, at least 4 to 5 times you have to understand this. 4 times to 4 to 5 times, please do study. If you are very much thorough with this, then you can go to the supply. So I hope you have taken this down, all these things, no, that you have taken this down. Otherwise, rewind and listen to this lecture again. Later, come to the supply chapter. Interesting things in GST is awaiting you. Interesting things in GST is waiting for you. So we will discuss about GST, interesting factors and things in GST in coming chapters. Okay? We'll start in next video. We'll start with supply chapter. In your textbook it is chapter number 2, and in my understanding it has to be first chapter, very important one. Okay, that's all for this video. We will discuss about other things in chapter wise in next videos, coming videos, and we'll meet in next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Hail GST, GST Park ki jai.